And I don't see any more popping in. So we will go ahead and get started. So thank you all for being here this evening. My name is Marla Karras, and I am the Curriculum Director here at Goodrich Area Schools. And with us today, we also have Lori Van Sumeren, who is our Technology Director. She's on with us. We have Michelle Pfeiffer, who has been doing some consulting with us and has some 8 years of experience in using Lincoln Learning, teaching, being a mentor of Lincoln Learning. So we have been partnering with her. And then we also have Kathy Sermonera. Did I say that correctly, Kathy?
You did, you did.
Kathy is a solution specialist for Lincoln Learning. And so she's going to be doing the presentation this evening. And so I appreciate all of you popping on to hear more about Lincoln Learning. And we will go ahead and get started with Kathy. And then, like I said, we'll have question and answer after the presentation. You're welcome to go ahead and start putting questions into the chat. Should be at the bottom of your screen. All right, on to you, Kathy.
Okay, well, hello, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to kind of share the experience of a student in Lincoln Learning Solutions. So I will do a little presentation first, and then we're going to dive into the curriculum so you can really see what the experience would be like for a student and a family. So our curriculum is called Lincoln Empowered. Lincoln Empowered can be used with school districts for blended or hybrid learning. We offer full course solutions, so we could do them in semester settings or full year solutions. Our full year courses have 180 lessons, and our semester courses have 90 lessons. Our curriculum is designed in a way that's supposed to be self-paced or asynchronous, so students really can work through the content at their own pace. There will be pacing guidance from the teachers involved, but the courses are designed so that there's no direct instruction that is needed, and that is how the courses are designed. So we're looking that students would complete a lesson a day is really what we're hoping when we have set these courses up in this manner. So our courses are comprised of learning objects, and these learning objects are the small bits of educational content. Our learning objects are presented in multiple ways. So students will encounter objects such as a read it, where they will be reading some instructional text. We have some supports in there for students who are unable to read instructional text independently. We also have videos that are called our watch its, and these are engaging videos that pertain to that learning objective. Students can also work with the content with games. So in our elementary courses, you'll see a lot of games that students will play and reinforce their understanding of the content. In addition, Lincoln Learning really does have a lot of offline and online activities for students. So students are not going to be doing everything on the computer. We're really having them, sometimes working offline, maybe working with a worksheet or kind of doing some hands-on activities. So your students are going to be engaged in multiple ways of learning. So all of these learning objects pieced together are going to create one lesson, and that will be the framework for a lesson for each student. I'll be able to share this presentation, and within the presentation, you'll see that there are some videos as well. So that will really kind of expand a little bit more on what we're talking about here. So when working remotely, it's always a challenge to figure out how often you should be working and pacing your student. We always refer back to what the district decides. So, your district will be your guidance. However, when we created these pieces of learning, these lessons, we created them with the understanding that students should be spending about 45 minutes or class period per course each day. So, and the lessons are not numbered, 1 through 180. With an asynchronous course, some students may complete work faster or some slower, but that's just a general guidance. Again, it is always up to the discretion of the district really to kind of set that pacing schedule. So I'll always defer back to what the district is stating when it comes to pacing. A nice thing that we do offer in our kindergarten through fifth grade courses are the parent-teacher guides. The parent-teacher guides are fantastic resources for parents at home to support your child through the learning experience. I know I had 3 kids at home this year with remote learning, and I could have used a parent-teacher guide couple times with my first grader especially. Our parent-teacher guides are going to give you as parents, you as the guardians, ways that you can activate that prior knowledge, engage your student, engage your child in learning, and ways that you can kind of show how they can demonstrate that understanding of the learning objective. So there just may be some questions that you want to ask, or just some things to really kind of make that lesson come alive. So there is a support there for you, and that's built into all of our kindergarten through fifth grade courses. So I talked about just kind of a little overview of the Lincoln Empowered Curriculum. So that is the content that your students would be using. The platform that they're using is called Buzz. Buzz is the learning management system, and it was created with that learner in mind. So, your students will find this navigation very easy and intuitive. When I hop over into the learning management system, you're going to see how vibrant the colors are, really, and the setup and the layout of the learning management system is meant with the child in mind. Again, a nice little video here for, when I share this with you guys, so you can watch it at your own time. So as I mentioned, each course is going to begin with a course resources folder. And so as parents and families, it's important that you spend time kind of reviewing that course resources folder. It is filled with lots of information to help you get started. The course resources folder will contain a scope and sequence pretty much of the course, any type of materials that are needed. In addition, it also has maybe even some things that might help your student, maybe like a sample graphic organizer or some graph paper or lined paper that might be helpful if you want to print that out and help your child, so you don't have to go finding it online. So that's definitely a place to start with your course resources folder. So families, we do encourage everybody to start with that course resources folder, download the pacing guide, review the parent-teacher guide. So that'll be kind of your first set of tools to help you. For students, as mentioned, we want to aim to complete 1 lesson a day in each one of your courses. You want to go through each learning objective, so the read it's, the watch it's, the practice it's, and the assess it's. So these lessons is how you're going to begin your day each school day. So students, when they log into the system, they will see a to-do list. The to-do list is a projection of these, what we call soft due dates. The soft due dates are really, they're not the hard and fast due dates that maybe your teacher would put in there, but it's really giving you a guide of, if you want to finish the course in your designed amount of time, the system will kind of pace out everything for you, those soft due dates. If you turn something in before the soft due date or after the soft due date, it's not going to, you're not going to get any infractions or, lesser scores or things like that. They're just really to keep you on pace. Again, your teacher and your district are going to tell you when items that are due, but this just kind of gives you a nice guide so that you as a family and as a child can stay on pace. So you want to keep working within those guidelines. It's important to note that assess-its are the only items that are going to count for the child's grade. So the other items that are within the course are going to be really skill building and practice activities to prepare the student for those assessment pieces. So we're talking a little bit about those assess-its, those assessments that students would encounter. Within our course, Lincoln does like to have a variety of assessment pieces, especially in our elementary grades. So students are going to encounter a couple different types of assessments. Some assessments students will encounter will be online assessments, and these ones will be your multiple choice assessments, maybe a matching type of assessment, something that will be graded within the system. So the system will grade and provide feedback for those assessments. So those are those online ones. We also have a mastery assessment that students will encounter. And the mastery assessment is like your chapter test. It's going to encompass not just one learning objective, but many learning objectives. And students will see a mastery assessment at the end of each topic. So as you know, kind of like your chapter test. Students will also encounter assessments where they will need to upload their authentic work. At Lincoln, we really value the work that students create that is original to themselves, and really want them to kind of get their hands dirty and start working on things that are like audio submissions or projects. So your student will see some of those same types of activities that they might do in a classroom in this remote learning option. So upload assessments, you know, for parents can be kind of tricky, especially when working with your elementary students. And many of you probably have experienced that this year. So when students are completing these projects or uploads, you know, you might need to support them maybe in taking a picture of the project or the worksheet and then uploading it into the system. I know that's worked really nicely with some families. We also have ways that you can complete your assignments, you know, on a worksheet, maybe on the computer if you'd like. With our elementary kids, we really do like to have them kind of get that pen to paper aspect as well. But so, you know, you will encounter some of those upload assignments, and those, you know, we have some really good supports on if that is a challenge for you and your student, we can show you how to upload an assignment within our system. So this is kind of what I was talking about, submitting PDFs. You know, you might be asked to do that for a grade, and, you know, you can use your smartphone to do that. Again, there are multiple ways that you are able to upload your items. The good thing is that the Buzz Learning Management System does have integrations with Google Docs, so you can always save things to your Drive or your Google folders and then upload them into the system as well. And I'm sure that this group probably has experienced a lot of this year, so you might have more tricks up your sleeve than I'm presenting here today. So the nice thing about partnering with Lincoln Learning Solutions is that there's always somebody there to support you. So whether, you know, you're having a hard time submitting assignment or you have some technical issues, our team is right there waiting to support. So there's multiple ways. We have a help center that will be there where you can kind of look up articles that might be helpful, but you can just start a chat and contact one of us, and we're here on standby ready to answer some of your questions. So we have upgraded our support for our families because after this year, we realized that is key to success when it comes to students in our learning environments. So we wanted to be ready to be there for you. So you'll have the Help Center as well for any content or platform issues. Again, your district will be there to support with any procedural questions that you might have. And again, you can always connect with us on any of these platforms as well. When I share this slide with your administration here, I will encourage you to take a look at some of these videos that I have at the end. These are more student experience videos, so you can take a look to kind of really see what the day in the life of a student experience would be here. So, well, without further ado, I am going to hop into our platform so you can really see what the experience would look like for a student. So we are right now logged in as a student, and this is the Buzz Learning Management System. So this is the platform. This is kind of like a home base for your child right now. This is a demo setting, so you're going to see a lot more course cards, but for students, they might just see the 4 core courses. They might see the English Language Arts, the Math, the Science, and the Social Studies. They might just see those 4. And you know, so they would know that when they have their designated time to do math, they would click on the math course card. When it's the time to do English Language Arts, they can click on the English Language Arts course card. Just a couple key features just from this main dashboard. Buzz does give you the ability to kind of see things multiple ways and many different times. So as a student, your activity stream is going to be pretty helpful here. The activity stream is going to give me as the student insight on what my teacher has graded. Did she provide any feedback? So this is just kind of an instant mailbox for me to see if my teacher has graded anything for me. I can filter by courses. This is now set to all, and it looks like my teacher has graded this assignment here. If I click on it, I will be able to see her feedback that she has given me. This to-do list is, as mentioned, is the kind of the soft due dates, the soft pacing that is with my course, with all my courses here. Again, this is not something that my district has put on here. These are just kind of those soft due dates that are available to me to see, what is where my pacing should be. So, this is that, and we're back at our courses. I am going to hop into a Mathematics 1 course here and just kind of walk you through that experience. So when I'm in my Mathematics course 1, I see this now. Your teachers can customize these, so it might look different. When your child is in here, your teachers might be customizing in different ways, so that you might see things differently, but general navigation is going to remain the same. So the first thing that you're going to see are the activities that you last visited. So this is where I was last. And if we're going in the order of the course, the next thing I should be going to up next would be this Guide to Social Emotional Learning. So that's the activity section. My to-do list is just generating for this course, the items that I should have been doing. And this is obviously a demo course, so we are a little bit behind. So my up next is going to go in the sequence of the course. However, as you can see, I'm able to navigate throughout the course. So, ideally we do want students to go through the course in sequential order, but they are able to skip around. So this course resources folder here, as mentioned, was definitely something you should start with. This will kind of give a parent-teacher guide, as mentioned. So for families, this would be something that you would want to download and maybe have on your desktop, so that you can adjust the settings here so we can all see. Apologize. Okay, let me just pump this up a little bit here. The parent-teacher guide, all these things, is great, again, because it's going to give you a step-by-step of what is coming up next. And I think, again, as a mom who has worked with her 3 kids at home this year, I would have loved somebody to tell me what materials I needed each day, and so I could get all those things out and be prepared for learning. So you'll see that the learning objective is titled here. You have the materials that you would need for that lesson. It will give you ways that you can activate that student's prior knowledge, ways that you can engage the learner, and also ways that you can demonstrate the understanding of the learning objective. So I'm sorry, my mouse was getting a little jumpy there. But so this is a nice guide for you as a parent. In addition to the parent-teacher guide, you will also see a guide to social emotional learning. That's incorporated in our kindergarten through 2nd grade courses, and we are working towards expanding that into our upper elementary as well. A pacing guide is another great place to look, and this pacing guide is going to be a bird's eye view of the full course. So for parents or teachers who want to kind of see what's coming next, or what content is presented where, it's just going to load here, what content is presented where, you'll see what is in each lesson. So you'll be able to really kind of see what's coming up and what is next. One thing to point out when looking at the pacing guide is anything that's highlighted, that's kind of shaded in this darker blue here, will be an assessment piece. So you know that an assessment will be taking place on lesson 14 or day 14 of the course. So that is right there at your fingertips. And again, some extra information here when it comes to things that you might need, number lines, hundreds charts, things that might be course specific would be in that course resources folder. One thing that I failed to mention is that with Lincoln, when students log in and it's their, and they partner with us and it's their first year with a Lincoln Learning Solutions course, we do offer a student orientation course as well that really kind of helps with navigation. So that is another thing that students can start with so that they have a nice ground of how the platform is and how things operate in the Buzz learning management system and the content. So it's a nice kind of entry into that remote learning experience with Lincoln. So yeah, students can have that orientation course first. So that's kind of exciting. So as you can see, the content is now divided by topics. And then when we click on each topic, you're going to see a welcome. So it's going to be like a nice welcome video for your families here. You know what? And one thing, I'm going to share my sound so you can hear some of these. So let's see here. Let's watch this video.
Kathy, we're not able to hear.
Oh,
video.
You know what? Let's try that again. I'm sorry. Share my sound. I probably needed to click share. Let's try that again.
I use my math skills every day. Okay. When I check to make sure I've exercised for a full hour. Or on my birthday, when I compare my height to how tall I was the year before. My birthday is next week. I can't wait to compare again. This year,
so students will encounter, especially in our elementary, this character here will be presented throughout, maybe popping up in some videos, definitely in the welcome video and in the exit video. So you'll have that type of video really to introduce different topics. So that is, how we're going to be introducing those topics. You'll also see how the course is divided by lessons. So this is kind of what we were talking about. Students would complete a lesson a day. And if you note that these green check marks will occur as I kind of proceed through the lesson. So as parents, as it can get confusing, what lesson am I on? What am I doing? You will be able to see that when you log in and there are those green check marks. It's okay if you don't get a green check mark on every item. Sometimes it's a logic thing. You have to be on the item for a certain amount of time for that green check mark to come through. The idea is not to get green check marks or complete every single learning object, but this will give you an idea of where your child was within the course. So as you can see, we've kind of already completed this lesson, and we're going to kind of go down. I am actually going to show you kind of a lesson, we'll kind of start here. And we'll kind of go through just a series so that you can see what a series would look like for students. So we'll start here with lesson 9. And when a student kind of logs in, the first thing an elementary student is going to see is the Teach It. The Teach It was designed really to support that younger learner and allow them to kind of be able to work independently. I have a first grader at home and she's just really doing great with her reading. She would not be able to read large amounts of instructional text on her own. She will need somebody to really read through that. as a working mom, I was not able to sit next to her and read all of that content with her. So this Teach It is going to be a really valuable resource. This will give your students some independence when it comes to reading. We will have somebody kind of read through the content for them. That way they can consume the content in that manner and then move on to the next object. So I'll show you the Teach It here.
Hello, in this lesson, you will write the numbers 0 to 50. You will need a dry erase board and marker. Mark's mother asked him to hang this sign for his grandma's birthday. How old is his grandma? What is the number on the sign? Mark's grandma is 50 years old. Counting to 50.
So as you can see, we have our teacher here reading through the content for our student. So the student really can consume that content by listening and is able to kind of still get that learning objective by listening to our teacher. The next learning object is actually the read it. So it is what that teacher was reading. So depending on how you want to set up your day, if you want to work through it with your child together, you guys can hop right to the read it and work on this content together. Or if your child is working on this independently, they can listen to the read it. So there's some options when it comes to delivery of that instructional text, which I think is important, especially in our elementary years. So you're seeing that the objective is here. The materials are listed of what you are going to need. Each read it is always going to have some sort of engagement, a did you know or fun fact that you can kind of click on. As you proceed through the course, you're going to see some graphics and ways that you can practice your content. So here, we have our circles here and their groups. So we need to maybe count by fives. We're looking here and to find our answer. So this is kind of telling us to kind of go to a dry erase board. We could have used paper or pencil to do that. The nice thing too is within our learning, our objects, you are going to see this text help toolbar. This is going to be in all of our learning objects. So, if you will see if you need something read aloud to you as well, you can highlight it and it will read it for you.
The best way to get better at counting is to practice. You are going to count.
So you could do that. There's also a translator, dictionary, note-taking, and some highlighters. So this text help toolbar is going to be in all of our learning objects. You won't see it on the assessments, but you'll see it on other learning objects as well. So the read it again is that content piece, and that is that instructional piece. So after we go to the read it, we are going to build on that same skill. So we're still working with that same learning objective. You'll see a watch it. We have a variety of watch its. You'll see some that are made from our media team. You'll also see maybe some from Khan Academy, or we have another, we partner with another vendor called Bow Clips for some educational videos as well. So let's take a look at this one.
Welcome to Numbers 1 to 50. Counting numbers can be fun. Try starting at 0 and count to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So again, we're building on that same concept and really presenting material in multiple ways for our students. As we progress through, students will encounter some practice activities. Our practice activities might come in the form of a worksheet. So there are workbooks that will come along with these as well. There's also the option to print. Again, we do like to have those fine motor skills, those opportunities for our younger learners to develop that skill as well. Practice sets are not something that are turned in when we the way that we've designed the curriculum. However, your teachers might decide that this might be something they want to see. So there's always that option. If not, a practice activity will always have an answer key so that you can check your work, or students can check their work for really a self-check. The next item that you will see is going to be a show it, and it's a show what you know. So we're kind of finishing out this learning objective of writing the numbers 0 through 50. We've listened to some content, we've read some content, we've watched some things, we've practiced. Now it's time to really demonstrate our understanding of this learning objective. So we have this worksheet that we'll be completing, and we're going to demonstrate that we can write 1 through 50, and we'll do it here. This show it is not one of our uploaded assessments or anything like that. It is, again, just a practice activity, a skill building activity that can be checked here with the answer key that follows. So that is kind of a rounded out version of what a lesson would look like. So you're going to see multiple ways that students are going to be presented with the material, and how that is kind of gone through a sequence. So assessments, I do want to highlight some of the ways that that students will be assessed. So I will show you an assessment and what that would look like. So as we talked about the different types of assessments, we have some that we will have to complete a worksheet and then upload into our teachers. So this one happens to be an assess it, where we're comparing 2-digit numbers using our symbols here. And so this lesson here, I've already this is the worksheet that I was supposed to do as a student. And I downloaded it on my computer, and I was able to work on it. And now I want to share it with my teacher. So basically, I'm going to just kind of like an email, add an attachment. I'm going to attach a file. I will choose where I'd like to find my file. It's on my desktop. And I believe, there it is. Okay, and I will just upload that to my teacher. So I've saved it to my desktop. I was able to download this worksheet, manipulate the PDF, and do it on my my computer, but I could have printed it out, circled the answers, taken a picture of it, and then uploaded it and submitted my work. So there's many ways that you can do that there. Students can always type in a little comment to their teacher, hope you enjoy my work, and then they would hit submit work. So that is kind of how we got this worksheet and how we were able to upload that to our teacher. Students will also, as mentioned, encounter a mastery assess it. So the mastery assess it, this happens to be the last lesson of this topic. The mastery assess it is going to go over questions from all of the lessons above. So like your chapter test. Your mastery assess it is going to be that computer-based test that students will have. And as you can see here, you're going to be presented with one question at a time. So you're not going to have all of the questions all at once. Just got to move this little bar here. And what we'll do is, I know that I mentioned that the screen reader is not, our text help toolbar is not available here in the assessment. However, there are many workarounds that are available. There is a screen reader here that is available through Google. It's an extension that you could utilize, and it will read.
Match each number with the number that would come right after it.
So you can, if your child needs support with that reading, you can have that screen reader also on the assessment.
Next.
We are presenting, I'm just going to turn it off now. We are presenting one question at a time, and students would then select the answer. Students will get, after they submit the mastery assess it, students will get feedback that on each of the questions that is computer graded. Students in mastery assess it may encounter questions where there's a short answer. Those questions will not be graded automatically. Those would be sent to the teacher, and the teacher would then provide personalized feedback on those questions as well. So hopefully I can get through these here. and submit all my answers. So notice how I did not answer question 3. It's going to give me that alert. I can cancel and go back. I'll just submit. And you'll see that automatically after I've submitted, I am getting the feedback on my assessment. And you can see that, it'll indicate where I got it wrong, tell me the correct answer, and show the correct answer. So that is available for you there. So that is what the mastery assessment would look like. As families, I know, it's always good to kind of keep in line and in touch with what your child is, how your child is learning. So you would be able to have access as parents or guardians, kind of an over-the-shoulder view of the course. And you might want to look at the gradebook section. This is probably where you're going to get a lot of your insight on, if your child is working independently. This gradebook will kind of give you some idea of scores. This means that this is completed and submitted, probably just waiting for a teacher to answer or to grade. This score automatically went right in. I believe this is what we just took. And, you can see, if I click on it, you can go to see, review maybe some of the questions that we got incorrect. So you can kind of review that with your child as well. So all of the items in the gradebook are clickable, which I think is really nice. You can kind of click on those. If you can click on to see if your teacher left feedback, I think that's very valuable. Additionally, there's a lot of things here that will provide some analytics if you're interested in that as well. This activity, so I'm just kind of in my student gradebook, the activity is going to show you, click by click where I was today. So you can see, I was in here earlier today, clicking around, and you're going to see, where I was. So you kind of get that click by click of where your child is. And it's also taking a look at your objective mastery. So you're going to see some standards here, and this is kind of your mastery of that standard. And basically it's taking like how you've encountered and where you've encountered that standard within the course. So I really have not worked with these standards yet. I'm really only, because I'm only at the beginning of the course, only right here. So the dashboard is going to give your gradable activities and all of your activities that you have completed. So in this course, this is indicating that there are 33 assignments that your child would have to submit. And this is all of the activities. So this is kind of every single learning object that is in that course that is there. So I am going to pause here. I believe we went through all of the content and platform related items. I will pause here. Are there any questions in the chat? Or Marla, are there things you'd like me to kind of address that I did not address already?
I think you've hit on a lot in your short time, so thank you.
Great.
If we're going to open it up to question and answers, I am going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Sure.
Just so we won't have that recorded in case anyone's not comfortable with that. So let me stop that.